What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk about the most comfortable build of the Lord of Hatred expansion, and this is the DustDevil WhirlWind Barbarian. This build can face tank Mephisto on Torment 12 without an issue. It can kill Torment 12 Mephisto without an issue. It can do Pit 120 without an issue in just a few minutes. It can literally do 2-minute Pit 110s. It can clear everything in the game, and I want to talk about it today. Because many people seem to struggle with either the damage or the actual tankiness of the build, I will go through everything and explain step by step what you need to actually do and how you need to gear up this build in order to achieve all of that. I want to go over the gear pieces first, and just to clarify, this build cannot function without the unique items. If you don't have these unique items, either your damage or your tankiness will be just absolutely garbage. So let's go over through them. But the very first thing that you actually need is a Melted Heart of Sealing. This will double your primary resource but decrease your life drastically. Now, the main thing that we are actually looking for here is resource generation, and we will temper on resource generation as well. So as much resource generation as we want. The main thing with sealing that many people don't seem to understand is that you need as little life as possible in order to get more damage reduction from the actual item. So we are rocking 565 life currently. However, our primary resource is 441. And there is nothing in the game that can actually decrease our fury. And with this 441 fury, we take damage directly to our fury, not our health. So as long as we have fury, and preferably maximum fury, nothing can hurt us. And if we combine this with the unique charm that we will talk about later, there is nothing in the game that can actually go through our fury if we set up this build correctly. The second thing, the second unique we want is a Starless Skies. Now this is all around a very solid choice. It gives a bunch of damage, it gives attack speed, crit chance, really good, 50% multiplicative damage, and it will decrease our WhirlWind's fury cost, which is just a nice addition. As for our second ring, we are rocking a generic just damage all around legendary ring. The main things that we are looking for is crit chance, Hit strike multi, physical damage multi, resource generation really important, as much resource generation in the build as we can get, and we have the legendary aspect. While we are fortified, we deal increased damage. As for our boots, we want very high movement speed boots with really important with fury generation, because as we discussed, fury is basically our health, and we are using the one that while we are above 50 primary resource, which is basically 50 fury, we are dealing increased damage, and we are always berserking. Berserking is a multiplier in our case. It gives us a bunch of damage, synergizes well with our set, so all around a really solid choice. As for the pants, we are looking for strength, fury regeneration, we are looking for armor, rest to all elements, and lucky hit chance. As for the legendary aspect on the pants, we are looking for damage reduction while we are wielding a two-hander. We are always wielding a two-hander, so this is a 36% damage reduction, in my case 40 tops. A really important part of the build, we are looking for the unique gloves, Gore's devastating grips. This gives our WhirlWind a 90% increased damage, and our WhirlWind will actually pull in enemies. The main thing that you wanna look out for when you are looking at your unique items is you don't want any HP whatsoever on these, because that will actually decrease your defense. As for our chest piece, we are looking for main stats, so strength, maximum resources, fury regeneration, and armor, and preferably one more. And I have here, while we are fortified, we gain damage reduction. This is just another defensive layer on top of everything. And our third unique that we are using is Heir of Perdition. Now this one actually gives us an 80% multiplicative damage multiplier, a bunch of crit strike chance, a lucky hit chance, which is important in our case, movement speed, all around a really solid one. Going over our weapons, we want a bludgeoning two-hander mace first and foremost, with crit strike multi, weapon damage, strength, lucky hit chance, and crit strike chance preferably. This, I would say that besides the actual greater FXs, this is pretty much a best in slot. You wanna masterwork the weapon damage because all around your base weapon damage scales your damage the most. So you want as big as of a base weapon damage as you can get. As for the legendary aspect, we are using Edgemasters. Now this one gives 114% in my case increased damage based on my available fury. Now we are always at maximum fury, so this is a really big multiplier for our weapon slot. As for our one-handers, we want one with as much generic multiplier as we can get. Crit strike multi, fist damage multi, crit strike chance, pretty much best in slot that we can get. As for the imprint, we are using the channeling. Channeling gives us 70% increased damage while we are channeling. WhirlWind is a channeling skill, so this is just a multiplier. A really important part of the build. Ramaladni's Magnum Opus. Skills deal 0.45% increased damage per point of fury we have. In our case, with 441 fury, this item actually gives us 198% damage multiplier. Really strong, and you wanna get one without HP and with the highest roll that you can get on the unique aspect. And as for our second two-hander, we are using a slashing weapon, but this one really doesn't matter. And here we are looking for as much generic multiplier as we can get. Crit strike multi, fist damage multi, crit strike chance, you are all set. Your weapon damage does not matter on this because you are not attacking with this weapon. As for our gems on our items, we are looking for Nagu Ja. This will actually give us a teleport, so we can use the sorcerer's teleport. This can be used while we are channeling, so it's just a nice movement tool. In the chest piece, we are using strength gems. Strength actually just scales our base damage really good. As for our pants, we are using the wolf companions with Sir and Se. Besides that, wolves are giving us vulnerable, but that doesn't really matter in our case. We are making enemies vulnerable ourselves. Wolves are doing CCs, freezing enemies, all around a really good choice. As for our weapons, every single item slot we are looking for fist damage multipliers, and in our accessories we are looking for diamonds all around basically. Now comes the interesting part. Let's talk about the talismans. So first up, you wanna get a 6-socket deal. This is crucial and you cannot go with a 5-socket. Now here, what we have is the Berserking set. Now Berserking gives us increased damage, increased cast speed, which is a different way of scaling our attack speed. So it's a different multiplier for the 2 set. For the 3 set, we are gaining damage reduction while we are berserking. And for the 5 set, while we are berserking, we are gaining 200% increased damage, 30% fury cost reduction, 10 fury per second, 10% cooldown reduction. Our shouts will cast every 5 seconds, and we will have 30% increased damage to elites. If you remember our boots, these boots is actually granting us that we are perma berserking. That means that our set can be applied with full effect with no downtime whatsoever. This is the best in slot set for this build, hands down. Really important, please do not skip this part. For the charms, you are looking for every single charm you have. You are looking for a fix that is granting you maximum resource. You remember we talked about the sword. The sword is giving us a bunch of multi. As you can clearly see, we have 25, 17, we have 1 missing, we have 18, and we have 1 missing. So that means that I'm missing, let's say 36 fury from these charms. With our weapon, that means that I'm missing 16% damage, multiplicative damage, because I have 2 set items without the fury. That would mean that all around, just this affix that we have maximum resource on every single set item, that is granting us around 50% damage. Let that sink in. It's a lot, and you wanna make sure that you are keep on rerolling your set items, your charms, until you have maximum resource. This is really important. And another thing is, you want Endurant Fate as your unique charm. You cannot go around that. If you don't have this, you will still have damage, you will be fairly tanky, however you will get one shot, and quite a lot if you are trying to push 110, 120 bits for example. You will get one shot by random stuff, you will go 100 to 0 in like an instant, in a snap. If you have this, nothing can hurt you in the game, literally nothing can hurt you in the game. As for our expertise, we are looking for the polearm expertise because it's granting us lucky hit chance. Lucky hit chance, we actually have hit chance affixes on our weapons, preferably with primary resource generation. So this is the expertise that we are using. Another thing that you want to make sure is you are actually attacking with your whirlwind with your bludgeoning weapon. Because if we see here, if we are talking about two-hander mace expertise, while using a two-hander, we are dealing 15% increased wrist strike damage while we are berserking, and as we discussed, we are always berserking. So while we are using with this weapon, this is granting us 15% increased damage on top of the polearm expertise. As for our skill tree, we want to take whirlwind with max investment. We want to take the tornado so we can create DustDevils. We take the cost damage bonus because the fury doesn't really matter to us, so it's a nice increase. And we are taking the channeling bonus because we are perma channeling and spinning around basically. We are taking a rallying cry. Rallying cry grants us movement speed, and more importantly, it grants us it grants us resource generation by 56%. Really good all around. Besides that, we are taking Fortify, we are taking Booming, and we are taking Fury Gain. Iron Skin we are mainly taking for the movement speed increase, we are taking Retaliation for the increased duration, and we are taking Resolve. As for our Challenging Shout grants us damage reduction, we are taking Weaken, we are taking Ball, and we are taking damage bonus. We also take Warcry. Warcry grants us a bunch of damage, 28% damage. We are taking Slow, we are taking Mighty Roar, and we are taking duration increase with this. And lastly, we are taking Wrath of Berserker with Fury Generation, we are taking Maximum Carnage, and we are taking Overpower. As for our Paragon board, main thing here, do not take any HP nodes whatsoever. If you need to, you path over your life nodes. If you cannot avoid to take a life node, for example here in the very first one, it's okay, it's not that big of a deal, but try to minimize this as much as. For our very first glyph, we are taking Marshal. This grants us that whenever we shout, we decrease our cooldown, one of our active cooldown by 2 seconds, and it grants us all around a nice damage bonus. For our legendary node, the very first one that we are taking is Carnage. Now Carnage grants us attack speed and 45% increased damage. Here we actually take the Wrath. Now this is a generic crit strike damage multiplier. It's really good. It grants us Fury regeneration whenever we crit strike. That's also really good. As for our second legendary node, we are taking Blood Rage. Blood Rage actually grants us 60% increased damage while we are berserking. If you remember our boots, we are always berserking. It's a perma up type buff. For the glyph, we are taking Exploit. Now this is the one where we actually make enemies vulnerable automatically. Besides that, this is a really nice damage bonus for our build. For the next legendary node, we are taking Warbringer. This is giving us 45% increased damage while we are fortified. Because of our rallying cry, we are always fortified. So this is again a perma uptime, nice little bonus that we actually have. For the fourth glyph, we are taking Might. Might gives us again extra damage, grants us damage to injured and healthy enemies. The last legendary node that we are taking is Weapon Masters. Ignore the first part. We are dealing 75% increased damage to injured and healthy enemies. So above 80, below 35. Same thing, this synergizes with our Might glyph. This is again above 80, below 35. This is a nice damage boost. And here, the last glyph that we are taking, most important one, is the Twister. Now this is granting our DustDevil increased damage multiplicative. And moreover, we have these crazy multipliers going on with the DustDevil damage. 760% DustDevil damage increase. Really good. Here on this last Paragon board, if you are following this one, you want to make sure that you grab all the available points for the DustDevil. This is your main damage for this build. Besides this, for the mercenaries, you wanna take Variana. Variana is granting us extra attack speed, extra damage, so we are making good use of that, and we are taking Altkin with Field of Language with our WhirlWind. I hope you guys give this build a try. This is the most comfortable build that I've played this season. Really comfy all around, so I really like it. I hope you will like it as much as I did. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I see you in the next one.